As a developer, Mangiudo has not done a great job on the PC Engine. So far, they've developed Jimu Densho, that's the space harrier-like game where you're a samurai, and the shoot-'em-up Rock On. Those two are strong contenders for the title of Worst PC Engine Game. Well, Formation Armed F is their best game yet. And that is just as much of a backhanded compliment as it sounds like. Armed F was actually originally a Nichibutsu arcade game. It had a kind of memorable tagline that roughly translated to, "The reversing formation will inflame your heart." Well, it turns out Armed F didn't really inflame a lot of hearts. Even at the time, people seemed to regard it as a second-tier game. Good presentation on behalf of Nichibutsu, but some real stumbles in the gameplay department. The only port Armed F got at the time was this one to the PC Engine. This is one of those shoot-'em-ups where there really isn't a story. No introduction, when you beat the final boss there's no ending cutscene, it's just straight action. There's 7 stages, it's got a pretty wide variety of environments, and there's a few different styles of bosses, but there's nothing really linking everything together. While you're shooting your way through these stages, you'll spot pods that drop power-ups. And these are where you get your armed. Pods that sit beside your ship and fire a special weapon. You shoot the guns by pressing button 2, and this is one of those games that doesn't have auto-fire built into it. The pods come in 4 flavors, and if you pick up a power-up for the weapon you already have, then you'll increase your weapon's strength. You can do that 2 times. The other thing that you can do with the armed is change formation. By pressing button 1, you can change if you're firing forward or backwards with them. But wait, there's more. Collecting an F grants you a formation change. If you have less than 3, then you'll have 3. If you currently have 3, then that will increase to 4. Hitting button 1 while you have a formation change causes the pods to fly off. They extend from the ship in about a 45-degree angle, initially forward, but if you hit button 1 again while they're there, then they'll flip around and do that backwards. The pods will stay extended from the ship for about 5 seconds, and then they'll snap back to your side. Once that happens, you'll have to spend another formation icon in order to release them. The levels in Armed F are really designed to take advantage of those formation changes. The terrain is dense and complicated, and this is a game where you can collide with terrain. At the same time, enemies are often placed in tough-to-reach corners. Sending the pods out and then positioning them on top of enemies is a great way to wipe things out. The pods also block bullets. Figuring out how to use the pods effectively is the key to doing well in Armed F. Of course, the weapons don't hurt either. Getting a B will give you the Bomber power-up, and that fires shots directly to the side. Increasing its strength will add another row of shots. This is the power-up with the greatest spread of fire. Getting an L for Laser, on the other hand, just shoot straight ahead, or behind if you change formation. Powering it up makes a stronger laser. This weapon isn't very good on defense, but the damage output is very effective if you can get the hits in. M stands for Missile, and that makes the pods fire a set of homing missiles. As this one powers up, the number of missiles increase. This is by far the worst weapon. A low rate of fire means low damage. The missiles don't track especially well, and the cramped terrain in the game means that they'll wind up hitting walls more than enemies. Even using the formation change doesn't help this one. The best thing you can do is just don't pick it up. The final weapon is C for Crusher, and this is a spread shot. It has a high rate of fire, but it's kind of weak. Powering it up makes the shots larger. This one's not a bad compromise between the coverage of Bomber and the damage output of Laser. But it also means it's often not the best choice. There's one more type of power-up that drops from those circular enemies, and that's an S for Speed Up. Your initial speed is fairly slow, and I had to level it up 2 or 3 times before I felt comfortable. Of course, you die in one hit in Armed F, and dying means you lose all of your power-ups. This is one of those shoot-'em-ups that's very punishing if you get defeated. In a bad spot, you might just wind up losing lives over and over again. There is another reason why you could die pretty easily though. That's because the hitbox for your ship, the hitbox for terrain, and the hitbox for bullets are larger than they appear. For things like bullets, you probably aren't going to notice too much of a difference, but when it comes to navigating tight terrain, you're going to get destroyed by things that look like you slipped past. It winds up making Armed F feel a lot more unfair as a shoot-'em-up. And that's a significant part of why this version of Armed F isn't well regarded in Japan. The original arcade had similar hitbox problems, but they're amplified here. On top of that, the graphics downgrade is really severe, even greater than you'd expect going to the PC Engine. Japanese players consider this one to be a disappointment. Now, I don't have the affection for the original Armed F, so I can just set that aside. But I still found the PC Engine version of Armed F to be weak. I really did not like the way that you have to rely on your pods moving through walls and solid objects. And the level design really feels like it was made for a vertically orientated screen. You need more time to react to things than you get. There also doesn't seem to be much personality to the game. I only played a few credits of the arcade version of Armed F, but I can still go, oh, that has a cool look, this music's pretty great. And here it just feels like things fall flat. I wouldn't go so far as to say Armed F is a bad PC Engine game, but it's also not one of the good shoot-'em-ups.